we've got new updates on the way for Madden 27. Now this video is sponsored by EA, as they did allow me to record some early footage of these updates so that I could show you in this video. And EA also just released the notes for this update that we can go over. So we've got some gameplay fixes, some franchise and superstar stuff, we've got some great new equipment and more. Now on their website it says, our first major title update is on the horizon, and we wanted to give you a breakdown of what you can expect not only tomorrow, but also what's coming in a title update next week. So we have a small update coming in tomorrow, and then a follow-up update coming next week that's going to have some good stuff in it as well. But jumping into gameplay, this is where there's going to be some important fixes coming in. It says here, next week we will have a smaller title update focused on gameplay coming your way, so stay tuned for when that update is coming. But here's a quick preview of what you can expect, and I've got some footage here to show you. So one of the things they mention here are receivers jumping in situations that they don't need to. Now, when I was able to go to EA and record some of this footage, I just ran a lot of different plays over and over trying to do rack catches, which means you're trying to catch it in stride, run after the catch. But before the update, what you might have experienced too often is sometimes players would jump in situations where they didn't need to, like you'd be trying to rack catch the ball or maybe even possession catch it, and they would get an animation where they would jump for the ball. Now, in the limited testing that I did, it felt like I was getting rack animations when I was going for them. I didn't have too many instances of receivers jumping when they weren't supposed to. Of course, there were still a couple of times here or there that it happened, but not as much as it was happening before the update went through. So this will be fixed next week when that gameplay update rolls out. But here's one of the biggest ones: more holding calls when using aggressive blocking coaching adjustment. I talked about this in a previous video, that this is something they were looking into, and you'll notice here in these clips I have aggressive blocking on, and you'll notice that I ran a few plays and multiple times I got a holding call, so this is pretty much dead. It still works, you still get aggressive blocking, however, the risk factor is a lot higher than it was previously. And something else you might have noticed at the coaching adjustment screen is, before the update, the con of aggressive blocking was that there was the possibility of getting more holding calls, which really wasn't happening. But they also added in some more risks to the aggressive run blocking, like higher stamina drain and a higher chance of dominant shed animations from defenders. The next gameplay change coming next week says the defense now flips with offense when auto flip coaching adjustment is on. For example, a slot DB will auto follow a slot wide receiver when the formation is flipped when auto flip is on. So you can see here I flip my formation and the DB will follow. Sometimes before the update, this was a bug that was not happening, and that's a pretty big deal because you want your defense to flip with the offense. And here's the other really big one for this upcoming gameplay update: blockers respond better to contain rushers. Now, it's important to note here that the contains themselves have not changed. They're still going to get the same angles, they're still going to be able to potentially rush the passer in certain situations, and they're going to do a good job at keeping the quarterback in the pocket. But what's happened now is that the tackles are going to respond better. They're going to get a little bit deeper into their blocks, and you could see in the multiple different scenarios that I ran here, they're doing a better job at actually sliding out, sliding back, and picking up those contains. I'm not going to say that there's never going to be an instance where contains will still beat them and come in, but it's not going to be quite how it was before the update. So really the two things with this upcoming gameplay update that's rolling out next week is that aggressive blocking, in my opinion, is pretty much cooked. Like, it still works, but the risks are just way too high to keep it on all game long like people were. And contains are going to be picked up a lot easier now, unless people maybe find another way around it. So a lot of popular defenses that were using contain rush might have to be adjusted. Moving on to franchise mode here, it says wear and tear. There is a known issue around CPU teams not managing wear and tear throughout their roster. We believe that we have isolated the issue, and it should be greatly improved with this release, so this should be going through with the update tomorrow. They also address the college coach abilities that were not being unlocked with the college coach archetype. It says we have solved this issue with newly created franchise leagues, but it will not unlock the abilities for coaches that were previously created. Keep in mind that these abilities are only for the head coach. So this fix should be in tomorrow. They also fixed an issue where created players were disappearing after a game was played after importing a custom roster file to start the league. They also fixed an issue where the value of void years weren't being applied when a contract expired. Now, those are the things you could expect to be going into effect with the update tomorrow, but they also talked about some other things that they're currently working on. And it says here, our franchise team is actively investigating several community reported issues regarding roster management, free agency logic, salary cap progression, and CPU decision making. We are committed to addressing these issues and will provide updates in future Gridiron notes or directly via the Madden NFL Direct account when these issues are resolved. Here is the current list of some key issues we are looking into. It says here, a temporary fix was implemented last week to alleviate an issue some players were experiencing in multi-user franchise leagues. The team is now targeting a full fix to restore the weekly recap to arrive next week, so that should be all addressed soon there. It also says players are retiring at unexpected or illogical points in their careers. They're tracking that. They're also tracking free agents and re-signing players that are signing unrealistic long-term contract deals. We've seen that a bunch. People have talked about it. And here are some of the other bullet points. I'm just going to pop them up here on the screen, but you can see these are all kind of the common issues that franchise mode people have been having. They're tracking all of it. They're on top of it is what it sounds like. So we should be getting fixes for those things specifically very soon. Moving on to Superstar mode, they fixed an issue where quitting a showdown 1v1 game during an extra point could cause the game to crash. They fixed a rare issue on the Nintendo Switch 2 where a showdown play-a-friend 3v3 game could crash while loading into the game. They improved stability throughout Superstar when creating and confirming your avatar, including navigating appearance, gear, uniform, and attribute customization. They improved stability when purchasing and equipping gear in Superstar, improved stability when entering and exiting Superstar, progressing through contract signing, and navigating the Superstar Center. They improved stability when starting franchise Superstar games and moving through related pre-game flows, improved stability during post-game flows and when advancing through Superstar, and there's additional stability improvements that have been made across Superstar and Showdown menus to reduce instances where players could become stuck or unable to continue. But now we gotta move into the equipment. My equipment heads, they are still going to work for us, and we got some good stuff. I believe all this equipment stuff is coming in the next week update, not the one tomorrow. Maybe we'll be surprised, but what I was told was that the equipment stuff is coming next week, but it's a lot of good stuff on the way. Starting out with the new cleats, the Nike Vapor Edge Kobe 6 cleats. They will be in the game finally. We've been asking for these. These are one of my most requested cleats that I was asking about last year. I don't think we got anything like Grinch colorways, but we got the different team colorways. You could see some different variations of it right here. So I'm excited to have these in. Another one I've been waiting for, the Nike Foamposite Pro. We saw these debut last year. A number of players were wearing them. They're now in the game and you'll see different colorways depending on which team you choose. These look great. I think these are one of my favorite cleats out right now, especially this red and black right here. I mean, these just look pretty cool. I got these on Odell right here as we kind of transition here. I mean, I don't know. These just look awesome. I'm glad to see these new Nike cleats. We also got the Diamond Turf 93s. Been waiting on these as well. We had those original Diamond Turfs for a couple of years. Now we got the 93s. These are some of the best looking ones in this update. Nike getting a lot of love here. You can see a couple different variations right there for the Dions, but that's not it. We also got the Diamond Turf too. Those were added as well. So a couple of new Dions in the game. I know a lot of people are going to be happy to see those. We needed some more Nike love and we got it. And it doesn't stop there. We also got the Nike Alpha Menace Pro 5s coming to the game soon as well. As you can see, these look awesome. Nike boys are eating in this update. There's still a few more that they got to go after, but with this update here, we're getting pretty up to date. Also, the Nike Alpha Menace Elite 5s coming to the game as well. So we're really getting caught up here with the Nike stuff. They added a lot of good new options in this update, and I'm glad to see them in the game. But we're also getting laced with some new Under Armour stuff. We've got the Icon High. This is one that a lot of people have been waiting for. Under Armour's been putting out a lot of heat these last couple of years, so I'm glad to see them getting up to date in the game. We also got the Spotlight Icon Low, probably my favorite ones that have been added with the recent updates. Under Armour's seen a few new things come to the game. These, in my opinion, look the best. We also got the Spotlight Pro, so we're really getting up to date now with a lot of these different brands. I'm glad to see them. If it's on field, we want to see it in the game. Moving on to turtlenecks. Yes, my boys, we got turtlenecks now. So under the head option, there is a new screen where you can select turtlenecks. So you've kind of got here, you're seeing the regular just white option, and then you have also a scrunched option that's a little baggier. So basically you have white, black, and you've got team colors in both a smaller, smoother option, kind of more what you see most players wear, but then they also added a little bit of a baggier scrunched option as well. So I'm glad they added this in. For me, this was one of the highest things up on the priority list that they still needed to get in. We saw them add a bunch of stuff over the offseason, which was great, but we're not even a month into the game. We're already getting a bunch of new cleats. We're getting the turtlenecks, which is one of the things we've been waiting for. So just glad to see the work is really being put in to update the drip in the game. And with that said, we're moving on to the face masks. We got a lot of new ones in this update. We've got the Axiom 2-bar straight here, which is the one that Jackson Dart wears, I believe. So that is now in the game. Axiom helmet definitely got a lot of new good ones here. They got the robot 808 straight with this update coming soon. We've got the 2-bar straight double as well. So just going to give you a good look here at all the new ones. We got some other good ones coming up soon with other helmets. We've got the Axiom Venom face mask as well here. Like obviously Jackson Dart wouldn't wear this, but just using him as the model here. We've got the Robot Jagged 3 face mask also added with this upcoming update. We've got the Robot straight double for the Axiom as well. So I would want to say the Axiom is the helmet that got the most with this update. We've got the Robot RB Jagged 3. I mean, you can see a ton of new options here as it is one of the more popular helmets in the league. We've also got the Axiom Web added with this upcoming update here. This one looks pretty good. Up next, we've also got the Axiom 3-bar straight double face mask, so giving you a good look there. And we've got the JR Cross 808 as well, the Jalen Ramsey face mask. This one looks pretty cool. Moving on to the Speed Flex, they got a few new ones here. So we've got the Robot Jagged 808 HD for the Speed Flex. This one's looking really clean right there. This one's interesting. This is the Robot Max. Now this is the Max Crosby face mask. Now he wears this on the Vices too, which we'll get to later. But they also made the mask for the Speed Flex just in case he happens to want to change to that helmet at a later date. And you can actually now equip it in the game because it does technically exist in real life. They also added the Robot 808 HD as well for the Speed Flex here, giving you just a good little look at that. They also added the Spider face mask as well, which is the Brian Burns face mask. Now, they also added this for the helmet that he currently wears, which we'll get to later, but you can equip this on the Speed Flex as well. Moving on here, we've got the Robot Jagged 2 for the Speed Flex helmet. So basically all the popular helmets in the game on field, they're getting some new stuff. Got the Robot X here as well, which is the last new one for the Speed Flex helmets. Now here we've got the Vices 02 Robot Max, which is the Max Crosby face mask. Now again, they added it for the Speed Flex as well in case he wants to ever switch his helmet, but this is the helmet he currently wears in real life. This is the face mask he wears. It's his custom mask, and it's now in Madden, which is great. We also got a few other face masks added for this helmet as well. We've got the 2-bar Jagged, as you can see here, just throwing it on Max Crosby. We've also got the JR Cross, the Jalen Ramsey face mask. And we also got the Kicker face mask for this helmet as well, which is known to be worn by Fernando Mendoza. So I threw it on him right here, as you can see. And like I mentioned earlier, the Spider mask for the Shut F7. You can see it here on Brian Burns. So just giving you kind of a look here at what that looks like for Brian Burns. That is now in the game. Another nice surprise is we've got the Guardian Cap XT 2.0, which this looks a lot better than the original Guardian Cap in my opinion, because it doesn't have that kind of sock fitted over the helmet in the same exact way. Kind of looks more like it's made into the Guardian Cap itself. So these will be coming to the game soon as well. You're going to start seeing players wear these more in real life, as these are the updated version. We also got some jersey patch updates coming as well. As you can see, the 49ers got their jersey patch that they're going to be wearing this year. The Saints got their 60-year anniversary patch as well. As you can see right there, looking pretty clean on Kool-Aid McKinstry. And we also got the 25-year patch for the Texans. So all of those will be up to date very soon in Madden 27. They did sneak a few new face scans in as well. We've got Chris Johnson here for the Dolphins. We'll probably get a bigger batch of updated scans, especially some of the rookies and stuff like that later on. But we did get a good bit at launch, and now they're putting a few more in. So again, Chris Johnson here for the Dolphins. We also got rookie Jeremy Bernard of the Steelers. He was added in this update as well. So just wanted to make sure that I captured that for you guys. We also got Keldrick Falk of the Titans. So they did, like I said, sneak just a few rookies in here. Not a really big batch, but these are the few that I was able to find. And the last one here is going to be Peter Woods of the Chiefs. So few guys that they were able to get in pretty quickly for this update, but I do think we'll get a bigger batch of these guys in a few weeks. Once we're like kind of a month and a half into the game, when they do that first really big update, we'll see more of those. They also did update the hair out of the helmet for Puka Nacua. Now he didn't get an updated scan or updated hair like with the helmet off, but when the helmet's on field, the hair will not stick out. Same goes for CJ Stroud as well, because they both recently cut their hair. So with the helmet on, you will not see it hanging out of the helmet. Now, if you want to know about all of the coolest hidden details and features that they put in Madden 27 this year, make sure to check out this video right here on the screen.